Welcome to the Evening Gamer. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Guy. Welcome, everybody.
We are back, baby.
We are back, and it's about goddamn time.
Bit of a hiatus, eh?
A bit of a hiatus. There's life happens.
Life does happen.
You know,
Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes very fortunately, but it does happen. That's for sure.
I always say it's fortunate. No matter what, it's fortunate.
The old doors closing and opening and all that shit.
Sliding doors.
We also moved. Can we record? Can we say these are recording studios?
Yeah, of course we can.
The old home offices.
Yeah, I mean,
This new place has a great Alien monitor. I don't know if anyone out there uses Alien monitors for their PCs, but they're very high tech.
Oh, yeah, I got the same one.
It's got the full built-out rig. It's not ours.
That
I fucking wish it was mine.
Yeah, that rig looks pretty tasty.
Yeah, and you can't even hear it.
It's
floating on
clean.
a cloud.
I know. Look at it. It's lit up and everything. This is fancy.
Oh, so yeah, a few things. We've changed rooms.
We have changed.
In terms of today, we've actually got a couple of updates. We are going to be releasing a couple of sub-series.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 3 series, essentially. One's going to be called Reviews. The other's going to be called Party Up. Party Up is going to be when we're going to invite guests on. They're going to talk about games they've played, and we're going to have a bit of banter. And we're also going to release another sub-series called Rant, Guy.
Rant. I do like a rant.
I love a rant.
We've heard a few rants of mine before.
So rant is going to be topics, news, releases, bit more banter and shit talk.
Yeah, there it is. I was just looking at my notes. I like the Party Up one. You know, that'll be fun. You know, we keep talking about it. We're probably going to launch it maybe episode 2021 or something like that. I think we've got a bit of a rogues gallery. Speaking of, I'm doing Spiderman 2 today, rogues gallery of friends we're going to bring on, and it'll be entertaining. And then a rant, this should be fun. But this allows us to sort of free up a bit of time to really get through our games as well, because at times you feel like you're absolutely hunting after them to finish them off. Spider-Man 2 I played mostly yesterday to finish it in time so I could review it today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it as well. I'm actually excited to hear your review on that. Because I haven't played superhero games much, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Like at all.
Yeah. I mean, I have. Like, Batman was, the Arkham series was a big one, and people put that on a bit of a pedestal.
Did Daredevil have its own game? That would be a sick game.
It would be, but I don't believe so.
Do you remember that movie, Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Back in the prime?
Yeah, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually really fucking liked that movie.
Who played Bullseye? It was Colin Farrell.
Was that Colin?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can see why it wasn't a good movie.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was hokey, but it
was a bit hokey.
But the Netflix show was not too bad, and they're now.
I didn't even know there was a Netflix show.
Yeah, they did a Netflix Daredevil show. It wasn't too bad, and they're now about to redo it and make it a bit more grittier. So, and with the same Daredevil guy, so it should be. And I think he's getting into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're bringing him in now.
Yeah, right. Because he had the radiation go on, didn't he? He was like caught up in the radiation spill, and he could see through walls and do all that type of stuff.
Yes.
I remember that movie tried to be heaps gothic, heaps dark.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was set in Gotham, and Batman just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe they were really going for.
It's like Hell's Kitchen, I think, was his area. If I know
what is that? That's just lazy writing.
My superhero knowledge.
Hell's Kitchen.
Well, it's it's a borough in New York. So
is it? I wonder what food they'd make in Hell's Kitchen. Just pizza.
Spicy.
I'm walking here. That'd be funny.
I'm walking here.
But yeah, today we're going to do one game, Spider-Man 2, as Guy said. You know what I've been playing as well, just as a bit of an update? Well, I've been playing a fucking few things.
Yeah,
but
you have,
the
actually.
one worth mentioning is Shadow of the Erdtree, the Elden Ring DLC.
Yep.
Oh my God, man. How good is that? I know you've only just scratched the surface of it, but it's a fucking sequel, man. It's a sequel. It's a full game.
It is. Yeah, it truly is. You know it when you come into it. You go, geez, the sheer size of this looks pretty substantial.
And it's just amazing. It's just like the graphics and the cinematics have gone up a level. The way the weather changes, like one time you're in a lake and it's full sunny and you can see everything, and then a minute later it's just pissing down rain and you feel like you're not going to make it out. Like, oh, you got to tip your hat to From Software. They have made something just phenomenal there.
They really have.
It almost like sometimes with DLCs and sequels, you're like, oh, not again. Are they going to miss? No, they hit. They just keep hitting, and it makes you just want more. Like, I hope after this is the third one.
Yeah, we've talked about it before of DLC or a sequel, and is it the more of the same? Do they change it up? Is the change up not as good? But when it is such of high quality, if they make a sequel, then you're like, yeah, I'm down for this.
You know what they did so well is they obviously sat around a table and was like, all right, how do we make this game better? How do we take it to another level? Like the runes are different, the enemies are different, the bosses are different, the area is completely different, the storyline beautifully carries on from the first. Like, it's just all round well done, and I'm excited for you. You've got to get into that, bro. I know you've been pushing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
but like, get going with Elden Ring DLC, and once you're about 10 hours in, that's when you really start to realize, the size of it, how good it is again.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely will. I guess my only hesitation is after playing Spider-Man 2, it was a bit of a button basher at times. And Elden Ring is a little similar of just pure precision of the right move at the right time, learning the opposition's moveset. I mean, it's that sort of Spider-Man 2 is a very watered down, almost kid-friendly kind of vibe about it. It's not that challenging, but nonetheless, you finish those games and you're like, fuck my hand, like I've been slapping it a bit.
So last night I was doing I can't give you a spot. There's a boss in Elden Ring DLC called Mesmer, and he's fucking hard, mate. He's almost like Melania times 2 or 2.0. I did it suffering. Do you know what suffering means in Souls games?
You don't use a
thing, you don't do summons. You don't use your tier or anything like that. And I did. It took me 3 hours last night.
Wow,
it's good to throw myself into something though.
Yeah, jeez, yeah, that's an undertaking. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I probably would never be bothered to make it harder for myself when it's already that fucking hard.
I actually was loving it. I was thinking the same thing an hour and a half, and I was like, is this possible for me? Can I do this? But then I just relished in the challenge. I learned every move that motherfucker had.
Yeah, right.
I reckon in the final run through when I got through it, it would have been like 80 to 90 successful dodges.
Jesus,
it was so much fun.
Well, you mentioned to me Kyle was playing at the same time.
Yeah,
how's he doing with it?
Yeah, he's all right. Kyle loves the old Google.
Oh,
Kyle loves the old "How do I beat this boss?"
And you outing him?
And then full like respecs to do it.
Oh,
whereas like I walked in his room last night and I was like, "I'm gonna suffering this bloke," and he's like, "Good luck." 3 hours later, I did it. And
did you go back in to tell him?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, he was hyped. I had it on my Twitch stream. He was watching.
Oh nice, yeah, that's cool.
It was pretty good. But yeah, just loving that. I've been so thankful for the drop. That was timed and when it came out and just what they've done with it. Fuck, it's just so good.
Yeah.
I've got something funny for you.
Oh yeah, hit me.
I was on the Microsoft store. I'm on the Microsoft store every other day, just looking for something new, looking for a new game or whatever. And I decided like, you know what I'll do is I'll re-download Lies of P, and just found myself whilst I was waiting for it to download, because I'm going to do a second full run through, just reading through the reviews, and I've come across probably the funniest review I've ever read on a game or on the Microsoft store ever.
You've set my expectations high here.
Do you want to fucking?
Yeah, let's. Do you want? Should I read it out? Do you want me to read it out?
I hope. You read it out. You read it out. I hope that this is as funny for you as it was for me the first time. And I'm going to try and bring in as many of these if I can find more like this.
Yeah, do. Actually,
just read them out on the
That's
podcast.
a great idea.
This had me in stitches. I had to stop reading like 2 or 3 times.
I love it. Okay, here we go. Okay, Muzz23. Lies of Everything in capital letters. One of the worst games I've ever played in my entire existence of being a Homo sapien. If I was able to rate it 0 stars, I would do that faster than I die in this game. Oh my God. I recommend that you don't download this game if you want to not live like Pinocchio and live a happy life. I'm telling you the dire consequences you will face if you are stupid enough to download and think you're going to have fun. Okay. Did you watch a trailer for this? Like, what are you doing? Now I know why they call these games Dark Souls games. Oh my word. It's because after playing the games, you'll have no soul as your body has endured all of the anger that has been piled up since birth. You silly sausage. If you are a father with any children, I sincerely apologize for you making 2 huge mistakes in your life. That took a turn. One, downloading this game, and two, thinking you were sane enough to tap a button and play this game without unleashing hell like a man in the 1950s.
I don't get that bit.
I thought he was talking about his child there. He really...
It actually would have... It hit better if that was the case.
Yeah, I know. You set me up for that.
I think that's what they meant.
Usually people say, don't abandon your family by getting milk, but I will highly encourage that behavior if, after you play this game, please shut all of your servers and shut this game down. Mate, what are you doing, Muzz? Like, come on.
I found that I was just like, who the fuck takes the time? Don't you... I don't know about this for you, but for me... Look, everyone gets baited by a comment here or there, right? And you start to write a reply, and halfway through the reply, you go, nah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just go, what's the point?
You just go, nah.
This guy clearly has fundamentally misunderstood the bedrock of these kind of games.
But also,
why would you mark a game as 0 stars if you could, just because you're shit at it? Like, that's just silly to me. It's like, okay, you're a bad driver, and so you go, cars are dumb. You're like, what are you talking about?
That's exactly
melon?
Right.
Like,
that's exactly right. It's like you didn't look at the game objectively.
Yeah.
And just say how polished and beautiful it was. You just couldn't get past the first few couple of bosses. You're clearly not.
And I mean,
this clearly isn't the game for you.
He can establish that it's a Dark Souls game. And everybody, when you first play those games, it has a moment where you realize you're going to die a lot, and the journey isn't about you doing it in one go. If you do that, fantastic. The journey is about learning the movesets and then a satisfaction after a few hours of being pied, nailing that perfect run and the satisfaction. Because that exhilaration is pretty hard to sort of create within a video game experience. And that's why these games are now a genre in of themselves, because they've cornered the market in that adrenaline rush that you get when you fucking nail it.
And Dark Souls games, it's not like bosses aren't an afterthought. Like often in a game you get to a boss and you kind of slash it, right? Dark Souls games go, I hope you enjoyed the journey here, because this is going to be a challenge for you. And so many bosses in Dark Souls, by the end, they're basically just saying, turn around and try again.
Yeah.
Level
up.
That's the way they've always built these games. But I came across that and I was like, I've got to get this on the podcast.
That's fantastic. But I just love the idea of like going through the Xbox game stores, because there's so many reviews you come across and you read it and you just go like, what is this guy doing? Guy, girl doing? Like, how are you reading this? Writing this out, thinking people are going to read this and go, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Had me in stitches.
That's a good one.
I think we had a few new releases coming up that we were discussing. Well, I know that Wukong is coming out 20th of August, which I'm so excited for. That's very kind of Dark Souls.
It looks good. It looks good.
Like Sekiro a bit. Yeah.
The next Star Wars, the Ubisoft one, is not far away. It's, I think, the end of August it could be.
And we had that on our list, didn't we, of exciting drops?
We did, yeah. I mean, it's open world Star Wars. It ticks a lot of boxes, but we'll see.
And Star Wars is pretty good at being cross-platform. That's not going to be a Sony exclusive,
no.
Yeah, okay, good. I love having games on my list that I'm looking forward to playing.
And then Space Marine 2.
Yes.
Which I think was maybe on our list at the early doors of when we went through this. And now, as more and more information is coming out about this game, it looks like it'll really be a big one.
We did a whole episode on it.
Well,
the kind of the lead up to it.
Yeah, like I think
the
I
franchise.
did it. I did it all around how I think, what's his name? Superman's going to do his own show. The guy was in The Witcher.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
But this is sort of a game that is timed right, as it sort of maybe builds up a bit of interest in the gaming community to this universe, because it really is an untapped market that, with all the shops going around, all the nerds that paint little figurines, really going to buy into this. It's got a lot of money behind it. So this game looks polished, it looks cool, it's Gears of War but dialed up to 100. There's co-op. I think you do 5-man runs. Like,
that's sick.
There's major missions, and then there's sort of extra deployments, and all the fighting, the chainsaw action looks really tight and nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I'm waiting for a game to come along that's that you can play in perpetuity, that really hooks me again.
Yeah,
because Apex is dead. It's fucking dead. I
was thinking about asking you about it now that they're monetizing the whatever it's called, the season pass thing, to the nth degree. You're just like, I don't know. I'm it's not bringing me back. Even doing those quads was fun with Matt when we played it for a run there. There was one night that was pretty fun.
Yeah, as a full trio, I'll still have a laugh, but I'm not dying to jump on it. So I'm waiting for that a new game to come around that I can play in perpetuity, grind it out. Kind of like how remember when Destiny dropped and that was that game of that era? Waiting for that. Hopefully Warhammer's that. I would love that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll spend a little bit of time in our Xbox, sort of disk drives and give it a good roll.
Absolutely. Anything else?
What else to make mention of? I mean, Wallabies getting up against Wales, which is satisfying. The Swans are back winning against North. That was
which
fun.
Which isn't a brag, but fuck, they
Well, I'll
them.
take it.
It's like 80 points.
And what's his name? Heaney getting done for the Brownlow. What? Come on.
Yeah,
that was nasty. And then what else is topical? I mean, do we get into politics and talk about Trump's haircut, or maybe not?
Maybe not. Let's keep it gaming.
Okay.
Because I think that's trended, man. A lot of people would know that.
Yeah, true.
And I just don't even know how to unpack it.
Well, I mean,
and as soon as something like this happens, there's just the rumors in the room mill that fly.
The conspiracy theories go flying.
Who the fuck? Look, I'm not a Trumper. Let's not go too deep into politics. But
we've just lost half our listeners.
Who would plan to try and have himself assassinated? That's just not going to happen. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got a haircut. He needed one. He needs less fake tan and more haircuts. Let's be honest.
Oh God.
Okay, shall we go on to Spider-Man 2
Moving
then?
on. Yeah. Okay, Spider-Man 2. I've just finished it. 100%ed it. Came out October 2023. Insomniac Games is the developer, published by Sony. This is currently the best-selling PS5 game. 11 million units sold. So it is up there.
Wow.
It's bringing a lot of traction to the PS5.
Was there a lot of hype around its drop? Was there a big break between? What kind of pushed that?
Well, it's because, one, it is a really good game. Unquestionably. The first game was fantastic, was highly rated. The second one is just really added to how good that one was, expanded it, made it better. So it's a leg up on the first one. So the hype train was real on this one. So you play as, of course, Peter Parker, but you do that GTA 5 style where you switch out and go to Miles Morales, who's the other Spider-Man, and you sort of superhero your way through New York.
See the one from the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Miles Morales?
Yes.
They are great little...
movies.
I was about to say anthology, but that's just incredibly wrong.
Well, yeah, it's just
they're
a
films.
couple of movies. Animated movies,
animations. Yeah.
And then you even, without a spoiler, play as Mary Jane in a few sections. And they change up the style of it from what is the sort of combo traversal that is Spider-Man, and it shifts to a bit of a tonal Last of Us style, where you're kind of moving slowly, a bit of stealth, kind of creeping up behind people and taking them out. Which, when you think about it, Mary Jane's a fucking journalist. There's no way in fucking hell she's sneaking on hunters, on Craven's hunters.
I was about to say...
These people are born and raised hunters, and they're getting snuck up by a journalist? Go fuck yourself.
I was just about to say, wait, so how does that work? You just swinging from rooftops 1 minute as Peter Parker, and then the next you're just getting on the bus and going to work?
Yeah. Punching in.
Like, what the fuck?
I'm doing my shift at the fucking press gallery or whatever it is.
That's weird.
I know. Yeah, it was a bit weird. But it was still played okay.
I like the risk though.
Yeah,
I don't mind
different. It was different.
Yeah.
I mean, so this. Look, we've already touched on politics, and without going too deep in this, there was a certain part in this where I took a moment, and a lot of people criticize games for getting wokeism. Where this kind of there's a character in this who is deaf, so they're doing sign language to each other. They're sort of really kind of ticking the spread, if you will, of sort of making it
the old
palatable
D&I.
to everybody.
A
bit. It just, I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about it. It's there. I guess it's representation, so it's good.
Yeah, fair.
Fine. So it's an expanded New York from the first one. A few more boroughs get open up. Craven is the big bad, as I mentioned, and then Venom is sort of the second big bad that comes along.
They even brought Venom in. Wow.
Venom, yeah.
Nice.
And I'll be honest, I've never seen Venom like this. I'd like to think I've seen the movies. I kind of like Venom. I think he's a very interesting character, but they really amped him up and gave him a whole different sort of view of how he has his powers and who embodies Venom, because Venom is a symbiote, can get attached to anybody.
Well, there's
Peter
a whole
Parker
Spider-Man movie of Peter Parker
he's Venom,
struggling with it, yeah.
So that was really cool. The different play styles as you switch between Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Mary Jane, and even then Venom at certain parts is totally different. So that when we get to sort of the feel mechanics, that really plays dividends. And they're even talking about doing a third one. So, that's sort of my prelude before I go into our categories. So
nice, love it.
Storyline and world building. in a universe where Spider-Man has been comic booked to the nines, movies to the nines, there's already been movies or video games, I should say, on Spider-Man. They did a good job in terms of telling a new story, a different story, and one that, as I played through this game, kept me interested. Kept delivering a different thing. I didn't kind of often you play these games and you know exactly how it'll finish, but this one would change courses in a nice way that was kind of like the cutscenes often were quite long, but you're engaged, you're curious, and the stakes kind of get higher. It's really cool. And there were certain times where my partner and my housemate were kind of sitting down and watching it with me, and enjoying watching me play the game, which sometimes you watch people play games and you're like, fuck man, like, this is really boring. Like, it's a lot of menus, a lot of annoyance. This one, people were drawn in. It was curious. So
that's probably a credit to you as a gamer. I think you have to be good at a game for people to sit down and watch you play it and enjoy it.
Yeah, at a certain point, watching people play Hogwarts running into walls, you go, know what? Give me the fucking controller.
Or they jump on their broom and they don't get inverted very well, and they're just flying down when they should be going up, and you're like, holy, oh my goodness, give me the controller, please.
In terms of world building, New York felt like New York. It had all the landmarks. You're climbing the major buildings there. The different boroughs felt different, when you're moving through them.
Nice.
So that was nice. That was fun. And for somebody who's been to New York, you have times gone, I think I ran down this street, or I remember seeing something on this building, and it's kind of nice. Or going to Times Square. These kind of moments that have that nostalgia, which is a nice pull factor for anybody who's been to New York.
Nice one. Yeah, I love that. I love it when, I think we said this about Cyberpunk, where you drive a couple of minutes and the scenery is completely different. There's different people, there's different gangs, there's different conflicts. Like, such a necessity in an open world game. And if done correctly, you just get a different taste of different things at any moment you want them. And I think that's super important. So yeah, this is ticking a few boxes so far.
It is. It certainly is. There was a fairly good range of new and returning characters, that added to the storyline and really sort of enhanced it, which I really enjoyed. And sort of the rogues gallery, there was certainly a number of enemies that you would experience throughout the course of it. So that was nice and really played in dividends. The one sort of detraction I guess I have in this category is, you have to compare it against some of the best games. This is an open world game. And, Red Dead Redemption 2 for me is on that top line, and the engagement you can have where you kind of go into buildings and there's mini moments in those games. This didn't have that. So when you know a game is like that, and then you play another open world game that's purely just traversal, moving through New York, little moments on the street, but never much time spent, behind closed doors or experience-leading moments.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole sort of collectibles things where you're taking photographs of people on the street, and you're like, okay, like, a nice little quirky thing with the hot dog stand guy, but you're like, this is a minor little flavorful ad. It's not a walking in and coming across a major big bad, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, how far did they, kind of stray from the main storyline? And I think I know what you're trying to say there in terms of little extras, little tidbits that you come across that you weren't expecting, and there were a ton of them in Red Dead Redemption. And Rockstar does that so well, and it's such a...
Yeah, like this one was kind of formulaic, whereas that one, it was like the independent stories they'd thought out, they plotted, they planned, and you as a gamer get to explore the wonder of like, why is there treasure in this cave? What's going on here? Why is there a creepy woman in that building? Whereas in this one, it's like, okay, you come across Sandman's memory sticks and you fight a whole bunch of versions of him and then get a little collectible that tell you a bit more of a story. Or you beat Mysterio's challenge room, a little bit more of a story. But it's all the same. Go here, fight all these bad guys, win, and then get a little bit more story content.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And that's what draws me to Dark Souls games, and Elden Ring particularly, which is like when you find something like that, like a little nugget tucked away, and you realize that, hang on, the game would have just played out for me, whether I found this or not. And it kind of makes me think that when I finish a run through of one of those games, like, what did I leave out there? Like, what did I miss? And it kind of makes you want to go back and play, and it leaves a lasting memory of your experience during gameplay of that game.
Yeah, which, in this, when I finished it all, I immediately deinstalled it. I mean, I 100%ed it, but I had no satisfaction to go back to this. So that then moves sort of nicely onto the field mechanics. So where maybe there was a minor sort of, comparing it to Red Dead, as I mentioned, minus the score a tiny bit, but I'll come back to what this final score was for that when we get to the end. Field mechanics, now this is where it really was a shining light. So the move set for each Spider-Man was unique and different to each of them, so they felt different. The combat was tight, and the move sets were almost like Mortal Kombat-esque, where you have to know the combinations of moves in the right timings, the right windows, when to dodge, when to parry, when to jump, when to swing, when to attack. Even dodging, depending on the direction of your thing, you would fly over them, under them.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Kind of upskill yourself throughout the game.
Yeah.
And you can. That's Doom for me. If you do it properly, the game flows better, feels better, and you get a better, more satisfying combat experience.
I feel like feeling mechanics is flow is a really good kind of definition for what we talk about in this, of just how does it flow together. And when you're playing a game like this and you string move sets and it works together, it feels like you're playing a movie. You're working it over. It's fantastic. So combat was fantastic. There's stealth moments, which were kind of fun. You were almost Batman-esque, crawling along these walls and, webbing people up, without them knowing, and when to take them out in moments. So there was a nice gear shift or tonal shift in that. And then the traversal, the pure traversal of flying through the city, you would hit R2 to shoot a web out. And then as you got to the pinnacle of the swing, you hit R2 again and it releases and shoots another one. So you're really like timing it as you're swinging through, and it's just
kind of like seamless. It flows.
Yeah, like it's just it like...
There's no buildings above you, but you don't ask questions,
Well, no. So if there are no buildings above you, you can't swing.
Okay.
So you then switch to triangle and you then get little web wings that hang out and then you can glide down.
I see why mechanics is a top tier category.
And there'd be times where you'd click X and instead of it being a swing, you would shoot forward a bit. And so it was nice how you did have to think about as you were traversing, how to do it. Or you'd run into a building and he'd automatically switch to just running up it. And then the camera would shift.
He's a fucking spider.
Yeah.
You're making me want to play this game.
Honestly, with my partner and my housemate sitting there watching, that a lot of times I'm traversing, going to the next mission, and you could fast travel it once you'd unlocked enough, and the fast travel cut time was amazing. Like you go fast travel, and then immediately you jump to the other side of the city straight away, and you see Peter Parker, whoever it is, do a little fucking move set, and then you're back into the game.
That's heaps good.
And it's seamless. It's so quick. I was quite impressed, but
I get distracted fast traveling. I'll start fast traveling, and then next minute 10
screen
minutes
loads. You're on your phone
10 minutes has gone by and I'm scrolling. I'm like, am I gaming or am I doing something else?
Exactly. But they really enjoyed watching me traverse the world, climb the buildings, and just the satisfaction of moving through it. It was really cool. So I've covered that off. Even playing the Mary Jane sections is the Last of Us vibe. The field mechanics on that was kind of fun, of creeping around and taking people out. You had to think about it.
I wonder if they did that because they wanted a gear shift. It's like, let's actually not make this constantly swinging from the rooftops. Like, let's make this really close combat stealth.
Yeah.
Let's take away all the abilities. Let's humanize our player for a bit.
I think so. Like, it's tough though, because you do a tonal shift like that. As we mentioned before, it's like, I know it's a comic book thing and realism goes out the window.
Yeah, that is
but
true.
But nonetheless, Mary Jane you're coming across people who've been... Basically, they've become symbiotes. They're horrific creatures that are trying to kill you. And you're just kind of watching it going like, if you're Mary Jane at this point, you are running for the hills. There is no way you're sticking around for this stuff.
Yeah, you're right. They could have just made up a sidekick that went to school with you or something.
Genki, the tech boy.
You said that.
Get him in there.
Yeah. Be the, what was his name from GTA? Was it Les? Be the Les of the group.
Yes. The
walks around in a wheelchair. Walks around in a wheelchair. rolls around on a wheelchair, but it's just he's a straight up killer.
Yeah.
Just unsuspecting. Oh, what happened to him? Fucking Les, mate. That's what happened.
Oh my God.
Just that kind of character. Why Mary Jane? Why MJ?
I don't know.
Plus, MJ's awful to Peter Parker. Why did he ever stay in that fight?
Well, I mean, in the game series, she's actually pretty fair and like considerate of his superhero.
Okay. We're not keeping consistent with the law.
No, she's not as a sort of a like in the movies. In the movies, you're just like, come on, give him a break. Yeah,
he's taking out the trash. Like, fuck man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a superhero. What do you want him to do?
He doesn't need to hear about
lives.
your problems.
Exactly.
Right now.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I didn't read your article. Yeah. Apologies, or he'd come and see you at the theatre.
Oh, who are you? I'm just the beautiful redhead that lives across the street. My dad's yelling.
I'm going to sleep with your best friend.
Yeah. Oh. And he's fucking the son of that dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Green Goblin guy. He's who played him in
Willem
the movie?
Dafoe, and it was great.
Yeah, but who played his son in that? It was
the brothers.
Yeah, the brothers.
What's their name?
Franco. Franco's. Yeah, and he was the one who was, you know.
Wait a minute, what? What's
Well, he was seen in the elevator with Amber Heard.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
yeah.
He was a bit of a womanizer.
Oh.
That'd be a good word for it. All right, so we've segued hard here. So challenge and entertainment. So I was certainly entertained. As I said, storyline was good. Changed it up. The boss fights, they were tough. They were not frustratingly so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a comic book game, so it's not. We're talking Elden Ring, but they were challenging. There was only a few times I had to redo things. The Mysterio challenge rooms, as they were called, were probably the most challenging. You know, what was it? It was sort of don't get hit. You know, stay alive for 2 minutes without getting hit once, and you're like, "Fuck, that's a bit." Yeah. You know, but so I did some of them at the start of the game and we just gave up and then waited till I was end game, unlocked everything, overpowered, and at that point I pied all of them in one go. So
yeah, and also I think it's important to say that leave the Dark Souls bosses for the Dark Souls games. Not every game has to be like that.
It's a comic book game. Yeah, I could turn up the difficulty, but I don't really want to.
Yeah. Also, if I execute my inputs correctly, then it should be beatable for me. Yeah, you know, it shouldn't be like there's so much luck involved in Dark Souls boss fights sometimes. Yeah. And not every game should be like that.
It's funny. It's like games like this, if you turn up the challenge and then you're redoing fights 10, 15 times, it actually kind of ruins the entertainment factor on these kind of games.
Yeah, definitely. Because in these kind of games, you're actually playing it for the lore. You're playing it for the superhero abilities. You want to get to the next thing.
You want to feel like a fucking boss as you're swinging around and beating guys up. And then to you're constantly getting hit and stuff. It just kind of irks you more.
That's a really good point. The main thing about Souls games are the bosses. That's the main thing in the game. You take away the difficulty with bosses in Dark Souls games, I guarantee
what game is it?
They wouldn't be on the radar.
They would nullify.
I'm not taking away from the creativity that those games have. I'm just saying they wouldn't be the games that they are if it wasn't for the challenge.
Because we're into that
bosses.
topic of a lot of people were like, specifically with the DLC, make it easier. I don't like how hard it is.
I fucking love how hard
that
it is.
fucking idiot who read the review
the Liza P review.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Maz or whatever his name was.
Silly boy.
I love the challenge, but I'm definitely not looking for it in every game.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it'd be like playing Pokemon and then turning it up to expert difficulty and you never catch a Pokemon. You're like, what am I playing this game for?
Yeah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is
just silly.
Just getting eaten by Pokemon the whole time. You'd be like, it's a fucking horror show. What is this?
They should make a dark Pokemon.
Imagine that.
They should really, that's an untapped market.
Tell you what, it would go from being, what are the ages, 3+ to fucking... imagine if they came out with an R-rated Pokemon. 18
plus. Do an 18
imagine
plus.
That.
Let's get some Baldur's Gate stuff in here, and you could, so people having sex with their Pokemon and stuff.
Oh my god! Wow.
The only reason
bestiality.
You asked me this in your question when you were...
I posed a potential question at you. We're on air.
We are on it. Okay, so character dev and build. So where are we up to? Okay, both Peter and Miles and Harry, the friend, they develop over the course of the game. There is good character development there. Peter goes through from having the symbiote, becoming a bad guy, basically coming out of it. Miles kind of becomes Spider-Man in true form. He stops being the sidekick kind of vibe about it. Harry, the best friend, he's sick. He ends up with Venom. It's a whole thing. But it's really good. There is significant character development.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
And especially for a comic book game, you're sort of often not expecting it and it being very archetypal type characters that never change. So it was nice to see a little bit of a tonal shift for some of these people.
And it's crazy how comic books have evolved. Because a lot of the Marvels, they started as comics. And if I don't know if our listeners have ever read proper comics, but you go back, they're not dialogue heavy. It's mostly illustration.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of back and forth between protagonists.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're all very tight conversations. Yeah. It's back and forth banter, and then they move on to the next event.
You have to appreciate that they've evolved a full storyline from that.
They
It's pretty
have,
good.
yeah. I mean, Spider-Man or, any superhero, because it's such a tapped thing, you're now having like Into the Spider-Verse, they even poke tongue-in-cheek about it of going, you've all heard this story before. If you're not doing something new in this space and you're just doing, this is how Spider-Man gets his power, you're like, bro.
I saw this in
come on.
2001.
If you're going to milk it that hard, at least give us a new taste on the milk. Come on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's minimal build options between kind of switching out a couple of power moves and switching between perks. Like, it's minimal in that regard. Could they have done more here? Yeah, I reckon they could have.
Definitely could have.
Especially when you've got multiple, they throw tons of suits at you, numerous different suits. If I was, talking to a developer of this game and talking about the sequel of this, hell, even lessen the suit slightly or give each suit a special power, a special perk, something that changes it up. Because if you're unlocking a Craven suit, make it that suit does help fight that boss or his henchmen. At one point you get a symbiote suit in this and that does add a little bit more, but I think it's just untapped. Could have done more.
Yeah. With this category, I always say less is more. Less is more in this category. Like, it reminds me of Remnant. Like, how many fucking rings do you get in that game? And you just say, I'm never going to use these.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's demand versus supply. The more there is, the less I want them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I think there was just in this one a middle ground where they throw, and they've spent so much time on all these different suits. It just would be nice if the suits actually had a significant impact. If your webs now explode when they hit someone. Just something small like that. I know, you're
and then you come up against a boss, and after 2 goes at the boss, you figure out, wait a minute, I'll use the Craven suit.
I'll use this different suit,
right?
Yeah.
Like that's the perfect implementation of a mutation of a particular set of
gear.
And
I like that when you do have to actually think about what moves, work specifically to this boss or their henchmen. Like that's what Remnant does really well. We've really got to go back to the DLC.
I agree.
So character dev build, the chaining the movesets versus the bosses is probably not quite in this character, but that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. I guess it kind of goes into the build thing of changing out the movesets. Chaining them together was really satisfying. So that was a strong category. So lastly, loot and extras. So there is crafting credits all over the fucking shop.
Okay.
I collected tons of them. By the end of the game, I realized I'd collected too much.
You're just rich.
It annoys me when they oversupply you with these things.
Yeah.
I kind of almost want just enough resources to get exactly what I want and not overdo it. Because if you're finishing the game and I was still getting XP even though I was max level. It annoys me.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword, hey, because as a gamer, you want everything in the game, but then there's a great
tipping point.
No, but there's a great enjoyment over the choice as well.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, I'll go this piece over that piece because I can't afford both.
Like, it does that thing where you get to the final mission and it says, turn back now. If you finish this mission, this is the last mission, you can't be, it'll be in New Game Plus mode or whatever else. I like that. Give me the option to go back. But, like, I want to finish everything and then do that. Like, my completionist thing is I will do all the side quests, I'll do all the collectibles, and then I get to the final mission and I know I'm going in raw. I ain't going back at this point.
Yeah.
But it annoys me that I've gotten probably 5 levels more of XP by doing everything to get to the final boss. Like, it's just like time it perfectly. The I don't know what the term is for it, but it just like it annoys me that I was over encumbered with experience and loot credits and stuff that I was erroneous. It was not necessary.
It's so erroneous. You know what it bugs me as well is when you get the best piece of loot for beating the final thing, and you're like, I'm never going to use this, bro.
Yeah, I can't use it.
It's kind of like in Zelda that you got this mad thing for finishing the game, and you're like, I'm never going to use this. Man.
Yeah. Too true. The soundtrack was okay, kind of mid. I was expecting you switch to Miles Morales, change it up. Give me. I don't know, some
Post Malone.
Thank you. That's who I was thinking of. So, Into the Spider-Verse, that Post Malone song, that was perfect. Yeah. Give me some different vibes of the different characters I play him. It was kind of all just the classic comic booky tunes.
Yeah, because Peter Parker's your straight shooter. He's your white boy. It's very like a bit corporate and formal. He's got the girl.
Yeah, you could tell.
The dad's a billionaire, whatever. Like, and then you go to Miles Morales, and not to racially profile, but like it's very street, it's very hip hop, it's very kind of pop culture-esque.
Yes.
And they need that transition in the game as well.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with you. I agree. I mean, it's funny we say this of going like Peter Parker, is the classic pin-up white boy kind of thing. He was thought up, by sort of whatever.
Prep school. He's a prep school kid.
But there was whatever the comic books guys were, and they thought of the young American kid hero kind of thing. And then flash forward, 40 years, and you've got another bunch of marketing execs going, we need to cater to the African American community, Miles Morales,
It doesn't help when these comics were made, however long ago. I mean, they were always going to, unfortunately, draw them white. Who was the first black superhero? Was it Pink Panther? Jeez, was it Black Panther? I don't actually know.
I don't know either.
I bet you. It was
Storm?
I bet you it was a villain. I bet you it was a fucking villain, bro. How bad is that? But I bet you it was.
I don't know. Hey, I mean, I reckon
because that counts as a superhero.
Storm was pretty OG.
Yeah.
Storm was pretty OG. I don't know. Anyway, coming back, loot and extras. Traversal deserves another shout out here because it is an extra. You're just traversing the city. The city's fantastic. Sitting on, especially playing on a PS5, running max sort of, I had FPS. It in a HDMI. I have a really good TV. So sitting on like the roof of some of these high top buildings, the one tower or whatever they call it, and you're looking out, there's planes flying above you. It just looks panoramic beautiful. Like, you play a game like this and you go, I'm amazed at where they're going to go with games, where we're at now. Like, we're at such a high point of games, and being at the age we are and remembering playing, Wolfenstein, the JPEGs that you'd have in that game, and sort of you see every pixel on the screen, to now the pixels are so tiny they're not detectable by the human eye. It's fantastic.
It's crazy, man. You almost can't go back and play older games with how good it is these days. And when you come across a good in-game kind of cinematic or view or visual, you kind of take a second to look at it. I certainly do.
Yeah, I do too.
Sometimes I even take screenshots, bro.
Yeah,
I have them as my wallpapers and stuff. Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely crazy.
Have you heard of the sort of the gaming trend where when you finish an open world game, where do you leave your character at the very end?
Oh, I haven't. But I love that.
Yeah. So there's a thing of like, I remember finding it on Reddit or something, and it's like a whole thing where you take a photo of the last place you leave your character when you finish the whole story of it all. And of course, in Spiderman, I reckon 99% of people put him on the biggest building there is going around and park him up there. But
I've done that in a few Assassin's Creeds as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there'll be some story people who go, let's leave him, in looking at Mary Jane's graveside or something like, whatever his mum's.
I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch.
I'm going to start doing that.
I think in Red Dead 2, I left him with the robot on the hill. I think I did. At the very end. Yeah.
My guy in Red Redemption 2 is like hidden in a bush somewhere, probably trying to hunt something. That's when I gave up on that.
Fair.
But I'm going to start leaving him in better places.
Yeah, I think it's it's like a nod to, we've just been on a journey together. Obviously it means nothing, but you could park it up wherever you want. But it's just a nice touch to the end. Okay, so let's go to the reviews.
Storyline.
Storyline world building 8.5.
8.5. Love it. Sounds deserved. Deserved.
Feel mechanics straight 10.
Wow, really flawless.
Cannot fault it.
Love that.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
That.
Challenge entertainment 8.
8 character build.
Character dev build 8. Yep.
Nice.
And then loot extras is 8.5.
8.5. Drum roll. 8.
Here we go.
8.60.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fair. It's of an upper end. It's as close to S tier as you could probably get. It's definitely the best AAA, A level game in our list. If I'd be surprised, I'm curious where it does come up on the list.
I can have a look. I've got a question for it, and I'm sure you covered this off before you started reviewing. Is it a Sony exclusive?
It is.
For fuck's sake, man.
I really should lend you my PS5 so you can rip through
Because
I
was about to tell you, I'm going to go home and download this. That sounds like just right up my alley to me.
I don't know if it's
anything
on
with mechanics,
PC though.
Anything with mechanics that has 10 out of 10 is just, I'm all over it.
Worthy of a go, yeah.
Okay, this comes in at 8.60. Under Sekiro, we have a bit of a gap between Sekiro and Spider-Man 2. So Sekiro came in at 8.92. Spider-Man 2 comes in at 8.6. There's a bit of a top 8 gap there.
Yeah.
And then we've got Lords of the Fallen on 8.56 just below it, and Cyberpunk on an 8.26 below that. So it's coming across some pretty heavy hitters.
I think it's where it should be. By the sounds of some of those games around it, I think it's fair. It wasn't groundbreaking.
It doesn't need to be.
It was good. It was great.
Saying
I
this.
played it through. I enjoyed every step of it along the way. So it's a good game. It's solid.
We keep saying this. You don't need to do anything groundbreaking or anything amazingly new or anything like that. You just need to make a good, well-polished game. Look, new is great. Do not get me wrong. But if you can pick up Spider-Man 2 and you say that mechanics are 10 out of 10, the character dev was there, the open world was fantastic, it flowed nicely, I didn't want to put it down, nor really could I at times. That's a good game. It doesn't matter if it's new.
We do talk about it a fair bit, and I was chatting to a mate today, and we were talking about Rockstar's back catalogue and the Warriors game, just because that was a game I played, and I used a GIF from that movie. That game was really good, and Rockstar absolutely cornered the market and just turning out really good games, I've used this example, and I'm tempted to start playing Suicide Squad. Okay. Which is the company that did all the Batman Arkham games.
Yep. And
Suicide Squad got deadpan, really bad game. A lot of people, shitted on it. So, Sony and Insomniac Games delivered on a really solid game, and it's worth playing.
Yeah, love that. I can see why Suicide Squad didn't do well. I don't think the movies did that well either. I just feel like it's too much. You can't have that many people.
It's interesting, right? Like, I obviously haven't played it yet, but I've watched the reviews, have a bit of a semblance of what I'm coming in for in this game. So the Batman games were fantastic for just really playing a video game where you were Batman.
Yeah.
They nailed it. Like this game, they nailed being Spider-Man. And that's what was so good about those games. And the bosses you came up with, the world they built, I could go back and do a review for all those games, and they're just fantastic. But what they did is they did a whole tonal shift of how those games played. It now is more of the almost not like looter shooter, but like you sort of play as the different Suicide Squads and you sort of just shooting. It's a lot of shooting. Like I don't think the characters feel very different and stuff. And I don't know, it just felt like they kind of shifted tack and kind of lost their way.
I also think that's just where gaming is going at the moment. Gaming is movement tech right now. Stand and shoot games are dead. They're dead. Look, shooter looters can still be good, but like you think of any shooter looter that's come out in the last 5 or 10 years, Remnant, Outriders, Descendant, there's grappling hooks, there's teleporting, there's invisibility, there's wall jumping. It's movement tech,
Yeah, I think there's got to be more to it than just, run, shoot, collect.
Grenade.
But, to be fair, the Division was a lot of fun. I did enjoy those games, and that's just shoot. But obviously, haven't played Suicide Squad yet. It got bought for me because my brother basically said, here's what is a game that people didn't like, because we always tend to review and play games that we do like.
True.
Apart from Sekiro 2, there's a recent memory. Changing it up. But I'll see which game I play next. I'm not sure yet. There's obviously a few I'm keeping an eye on. I've got a bit more time now as well. So I'm looking forward to what I kick off next.
Love that. What a review. Sounds like it deserved the 8.6. And if it ever grows up and comes over cross-platform, or I just finally get that PC I've been talking about, I'll definitely play it.
Yeah, the Sony exclusives, there's such a list of them. God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn. There's so many games on that console that are worth playing. Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, so let's go to questions from a hat.
Should we just do the one?
Yeah, what's our timestamp? How far deep are we?
We're at 47 minutes.
Far out. Yeah, let's just do one.
So good, right. I think we stay on the superhero train, and let's discuss favorite superheroes.
Yeah, favorite superheroes. So mine, it's hard to not go past Wolverine. There's a
really
he was my OG Wolverine
because of the movies or because of the comics.
No. I was onto him probably very early doors
because I don't think his movies are that fantastic, but I've heard great things about the comics.
Well, yeah, the comics were really good. The movies, the first 3 X-Men movies were actually pretty good, and then they did, his spin-off ones were not too bad. And Hugh Jackman, he's a hell of a Wolverine, but
he killed it, yeah.
I kind of got into it, I think somewhere along the way, maybe a comic book or something was probably an X-Men Wolverine. I know what it was. It was the 1997 X-Men TV show. And Wolverine in that was just the baddest ass dude. He they every time they cut to him, he's got a cigar in one thing, and he's just like giving people the middle finger with his claws kind of thing. It just gave no shits whatsoever. And the comparison of his character versus like the cookie cutout laser eye guy, whatever his name is,
I can't remember
Cyclops.
That. Yeah.
You just be like, shut up, Cyclops! Like, take a hike, you fucking nonce.
I love that. For me, I'm torn between three. Funnily enough, Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes.
Hey.
Just watching Tobey, I forgot his last name. Tobey Maguire. I remember as a kid, because those movies came out ages ago when he was Spider-Man. I just remember watching those as a kid and just loving all three of them that he was a part of. They were so good. They had gothic overtones. They were sad. They were happy. They were action-packed. Like, they were just great movies.
You must have really enjoyed that latest Marvel Spider-Man one when they brought him back and they had Andrew Garfield as well.
I haven't done the Garfield ones.
Okay, whoa. Okay, so you've got the Garfield 2 movies, and now you've got the new kid who's on his third one.
Yeah.
And the new kid in his third one. Have you done all three of his ones?
I'm pretty sure I have.
But did you go to the cinema and watch the most recent of his three?
I haven't, no. Oh, wait. Yes, I have.
Because, man, like, I got to be honest, that's probably what, talking about Dune and cinema moments, seeing that latest Spider-Man one,
I did see it,
where they bring back Tobey Maguire, they bring back Andrew Garfield.
Yes, no, I saw
Andrew
this.
Garfield saves what's your tits, the good way.
Yeah.
You just like that moment in the cinema. I remember looking around and just being like, that's so good. Like, I love it when they pay it for the fans. It kills me, like Game of Thrones, where they go, we know you all know it's going to end this way, but fuck you. We're going to change it because we want to do something different. You're like, no, just pay off the story we've been waiting for.
And what's his name? Tom
Holland.
We're
doing really well.
We are. We're vibing off each other tonight. He's such a good actor for me.
He is really good.
And you're right. Those movies were so good. And I think because he really... I think they cast him perfectly in that. He really felt like a school kid going through it. He's got that look about him, the baby face. He's got the awkwardness and the charisma as well. Like, he was a great
He's got the
Spider-Man.
Acrobatic ability to do some of that stuff,
Yeah. And was Zendaya in those movies as well?
She was.
They just kept the real life relationship.
Yeah,
going.
they did. Well, yeah, they pretty much did.
But for me, coming back to it, it's between three superheroes, and I will choose, but it's between Spider-Man, because Tobey Maguire was my OG when I was a kid. Man of Steel. I really liked Henry Cavill as Man of Steel. I thought they were good movies too. Yeah. And also Iron Man. Iron Man's just so good.
Of course.
If I had to choose, I think I'd go Spider-Man.
I do it. It's another fun memory of mine of watching the Iron Man TV show.
Yeah.
And him having all his suits in that huge silo, and you just see all the variations.
And also
it's so cool.
Just like his character as well. Tony Stark, just the billionaire that doesn't give a fuck. And doesn't have to, but does.
Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. Rumors are going to bring him back. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is really studded since Infinity War.
Just what happened to him in Endgame and stuff like that. It's just a great character arc.
Oh, fantastic.
But I'd still go Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man is still my favorite.
There's obviously I think most people would respect and appreciate the Marvel Cinematic Universe of all the way to Infinity War. Sure, they had a couple of stutters along the way, but was just the payoff at the end of those two movies was just, that's why you go to the cinemas, to watch stuff like that. It was just fantastic. I remember I went and took my ex to it, and she was not interested, didn't care about it for a long way through. By the time we got to Infinity War Part 2, she cried when Robert Downey Jr. hit the clip.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, look at your attitude change from the first movie to the last one.
And a director would love that too, because that's the journey that they're trying to take you on.
Yeah, exactly. To get bought into the character development and the arcs of it was fantastic, really good.
And no matter how good TVs get, no matter how good surround sound gets and LED lights behind TVs and stuff like that, there are some movies that just will not match the experience in the cinema.
Yeah. No, too true. I rewatched Dune 2 again not long. I think I've watched it like 4 times.
It's on my list. Cue it. Get it ready.
I showed the missus, showed her Dune 1 and 2 sort of back to back, and she loved them. Fantastic.
I've gotten like at least 5 people since I watched Dune 2.
I'm selling it.
I go, hey, have you seen Dune 2? And they go, no, I haven't even seen the first one. And I just just slap them. And then
there's a mate of mine at work who was telling me his missus was like, no, Star Wars was better. And I was just like, bro, like, how could you let that sit? Like, I'd be like debating it left, right, and center and go like, it's not a question.
What premise?
It's not a question.
What grounds?
You don't go to the movie. I don't go to the movie. In every movie I see, go, oh, Star Wars was better.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the point of comparison. Not everything is drawn back to the same fucking movie. You go and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, if it's attempting to, I think the reason why she was comparing it with Star Wars is because Dune 2 takes a lot of its influences from Star Wars.
It does a little bit.
There's a lot of parallels there, but nonetheless, it's still fucking good.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think there's like this thing that everyone tries to do where they just think older is better.
Yeah.
And it's just not true. Like, I'm really coming around to the fact that I'm allowed to like things, and if they're new, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it's like when the
listen to CDs, bro, I listen to vinyl.
Yeah,
Cool.
too true. Like when that second trilogy came out from George Lucas and everyone was like, compared to the first trilogy, this is trash. You go back and watch that trilogy again, like, this is actually sick. It's Clone Wars, the fights, the way you see him turn to the bad side. George Lucas fucking knocked it out of the park. The fact he didn't make the most recent trilogy and they muddied it just is honestly it's a mark on society that they ruined that last trilogy.
And just the cast, man. Ewan McGregor, Hayden, what's his name? Christensen, and then
that's a third
Qui-Gon Jinn as well.
What's his name?
Oh, we're not gonna get this one.
Liam Neeson.
Nice. Yeah, just like so good. Older is not always better. Older is good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to die on that hill just because you like something that's old.
Yeah,
something new can take.
It's not a personality trait to go, this one's better. It's like, don't you shit on this new thing that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, it's also not fun because you're upsetting me right now for no reason at all.
It's like going like, oh, I like Tame Impala. Go, Beatles did it better. And you're like, what?
Of course they did it better. They were the Beatles. Yeah, let's.
Anyway, we should make it. This is a rant episode.
This is a rant episode now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for listening. We're back, baby.
We are back. Great episode.
Weekly again.
Weekly, yes.
Don't be an NPC.
Keep leveling up.
Thanks, everyone.